Welcome to the Sail Savvy channel. This is your host Magnus with Captain Cognac co-hosting. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Best Budget Sailboat Cruisers. Alright, let's get the bad over with. It's a catamaran. It doesn't sail that great to windward, and it is prone to some slamming heading into waves. However, this particular catamaran only has a 13.5-foot beam, so it fits in any standard slip in North America. And just imagine the possibilities of anchorages or even beaching with 2.25 foot of draft. Let's consult with sailboatdata.com to get a better understanding of the design. The first thing I notice is the center cockpit arrangement, something you don't really see on catamarans. I suppose it does add some privacy and quiet to the aft cabins that are then separated by the cockpit from the rest of the boat. The specs again revealed the moderate beam and also the quite light displacement, since catamarans don't need a ballast. This is kind of the secret why they do go fast in all directions except into the wind. Also again, note the shallow draft. Comfort ratios and capsize screening formulas don't really come into play on catamarans, but we do see here that the sail area is adequate for her to get out of her own way. Let's get the tour underway. Starting from the cockpit and looking forward, we find the salon with the U-shaped settee in the center, and in the port hull we find a kitchen, not a galley, a real kitchen, and in the starboard hull we find a very generous head. Going below towards aft from the cockpit, we have two separate cabins, each with a separate entrance from the cockpit, and each with plenty of port lights in more than one direction. The cockpit itself feels a little cramped, but also very safe, and is sort of spacious, but only sideways. Depending on where you are in the world, finding one of these shouldn't be too hard, and at least for me, this checks a lot of boxes. I really like the shallow draft, but not sure if I'm crazy about the center cockpit arrangement. That wraps up the Heavenly Twins. How's that for an interesting catamaran? Thank you for watching this episode of Best Budget Sailboat Cruisers. We hope you'll join us again next time, and until then, myself and Captain Cognac are standing by on Channel Sail Savvy.